Hi guys, so here's a pH worksheet. It's called pHooey, just for a funny little name. And you're really just gonna look at the relationships between pH, pOH, H concentration, and OH concentration in case you just need that again. And it is double-sided. If you did not pick up this handout, then it is a PDF on the It's Learning Unit 9 folder. It should also be linked in the plans and resources, so it should be pretty easy for you to find. So there's lots of stuff kind of going on here. Let's go back to the front. So a really quick kind of review. Basically all you're doing here is you're filling in the missing pieces. So for like stomach acid, it's telling you that it's an acid, and then what should the pH be that it's asking you for. You have the concentration here. You're just simply gonna do the negative log of that concentration. So that number, and that's going to give you the pH value. And then when we're writing it in scientific notation, you're taking this molarity number and putting it in scientific notation. So let's do that on the next one here. Remember, your first number has to be in between 1 and 9. So we're going to move the decimal all the way behind the 1 times 10. And we move that 1, 2, 3 spaces, but it's going to be a negative 3 simply because the number was less than 1 to begin with. Hopefully that is helpful. So then this number here, we're just taking it out of scientific notation. Remember that when you move it to the other, this decimal to the other side of the 1, that counts as 1 movement of the decimal. So we need 6 movements of the decimal. So you should have decimal 5 zeros and then the 1 molarity. It's just easier to write in scientific notation when you get down to really large values here. Okay, moving on to some of the questions. So like the first one, if you know the concentration of H of a solution in decimal form, explain how you can figure out its pH. So all it's really asking you is to go back and say, hey, if you have the decimal form of that concentration, how can you figure out pH? So really, really simple. Negative log of the concentration of H will give you the pH value. That's simply it. So it's really just kind of going back and forth and making sure you can answer those questions. Go on the back. So for this one, we're looking more at OH, and we're doing kind of basically the same thing. So a little confusing here because they give you the H concentrations, but remember, if we want the OH, that exponent is got to equal, when you add the two exponents together, they have to equal 14. So if you just look, this pH is 2, so if you subtract from 14, you have 12 left over. So it's just decreasing as it goes down. So the next should be 11. We have 10, 9, 8, okay? So you just want to be really, really careful with that. When we get to 7, also be careful. If it's still 7 here, it's going to be 7 again there, because you're wanting to make sure that this pH and pOH add to be 14, and the same will go for the exponent here and the exponent in this blank. So let's go back out and go back up and fill out some of these. 1.0 times 10 to the negative 13 molarity. So it's matching what that pOH is saying right there for the concentration. The next one, 1.0 times 10 to the negative 11. Just be careful as you're going down, because then some of the pHs remain the same, so they're kind of trying to trick you just a little bit. All right, and then down at the bottom, it's asking you some questions, like what does OH actually stand for, the OH negative? Make sure you mention concentration, because those are the brackets, and then it should be in molarity. Another question, what can you say about the concentration of OH in solutions with high acidity? So they're really just asking, like, how much would you actually have? If I'm really, really high acid, you might have lower OH concentration, or you should. You should have much lower. So if I'm like a strong acid, I'm not going to have as many OH. I'm going to have lots of H ions in solution. Hopefully that helps you give a little bit of overview. And again, it's just kind of working with those numbers again for pH and pOH. And you're not going to have any kind of forms like this or charts to fill in on your test or quiz. It's simply just to make sure you can go back over some of those values. Thank you.